Hey everybody, it's Friday! I'm Gregory, this is 1 in 20 D&D, and welcome to DnDaily number 26. I am excited because, wow, I've got a lot going on this weekend, and I started editing the next Battletech session number 2 last night, so I'm excited about getting that out for y'all. Today, I'm running, as long as everything goes according to plan, I'm running the second part of our first kind of encounter, let's call it, at the table for my weekly in-person game. So I'm super excited. I get to pull out the battle mat today, draw up the next part of the well, it's kind of like a cave that they're in, and I'm just stoked. I did my DnDaily yesterday about one of the NPCs that I created for him today. Yes, the Lord of Lance Rock is what I was talking about yesterday. I'm looking forward to introducing the players to him, so that'll be fun. Now, again, that's prep stuff. I have a little bit of stuff to do before the game starts. I gotta, set the table up, get my battle mat drawn up, kind of cover the areas I don't want them to see, and that stuff is fun. So I'm really looking forward to getting into that today. I am a little out of sorts with things this week. I had trouble watching the Talks Machina. And I try to watch Talks Machina before I watch the weekly session of Critical Role. And of course it's Friday, which means last night was Critical Role. And of course there is no Critical Role. Wait a minute. No, there was no Critical Role this week. That's right. This week is the week they're skipping. And they're back next week. So, hey, how about that? I didn't even realize that. But still, I want to finish watching the Talks Machina because it was Matt and Taliesin, and they were having a good conversation, but my internet wasn't cooperating with me when I was watching it. And that's the way life goes sometimes. So yeah, I had fun creating this NPC for today. I'm really looking forward to bringing him out, and the voice will be easy now that I have the character established. So it'll be interesting to see what the players do to get into it, and what they do when they meet him. I have no idea. That's one of the things that's most amazing about role-playing games, is regardless of what you intend or plan ahead of time, when the dice start rolling, things go sideways every time. Like they'll go this way, then they'll go that way, and you just never know how it's going to play out. The other thing that's funny is, for instance, sometimes as a GM, sometimes you miss stuff. So you plan something, you have it, it says in the book to do this, or it says in your notes that when this occurs, make sure that this happens, whether it's a trap or whether it's a, dynamic of the encounter or something occurring during a conversation. And it's amazing to me how frequently I miss that stuff. Now, maybe I'm the only one that does that, but I kind of doubt it. For instance, there was an encounter that we did when we only had 2 of the players at the table. And again, it's a small group. There's only 3 players and myself, so there's only 4 of us. So we decided with just 2, we would do sort of a side quest and have them engage in that. And in this, they were dealing with some bandits. So they had to track down some bandits first. So we did some skill check and some role playing, and I got to do some kind of environmental stuff to develop the story, which was kind of fun. And I hope they enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing that. And they did a great job of it too. It was neat, and it gave them a chance to establish, at least for these 2 characters, how they work together. And so that was really awesome. Well, when they encountered the bandits finally, they were in a position to basically ambush or surprise, let's say, the bandits. The bandits were kind of goofing and guffawing around the fire. They had no reason to believe that anyone would ever come looking for them, and they just felt safe in their little sort of hideout, which was more of a campsite than a hideout. And these two characters snuck up very successfully. The dice were in their favor. And one of the interesting elements of this combat was that there was a bear, a black bear, I believe, in a wooden cage on a cart that apparently these bandits had somehow captured, and it turns out they were going to try to sell it. Now, the players don't know that. They could maybe presume that or something, but who knows. And these bandits were going to try to sell it, but they didn't get the chance because they got interrupted. They got attacked by these adventurers. So the combat's going through. It's 2-on-3 with these bandits, and they basically are handling it pretty effectively. One of the players got shot with a crossbow bolt, took some heavy damage, but survived. They didn't go. Neither one of them went down. They were able to overwhelm the bandits and come out the other end successful. And I forgot during that entire combat that each round I'm supposed to be making a strength check for this bear to bust out of the cage because the bear's hungry. They've been kind of like tormenting it and not feeding it. The bear is angry, hungry, and irritated. And it says that the bear, in this encounter, the bear is supposed to try to break out of the cage. And it's not like a lock or anything. They just have like a little stake or something in the latch. And it's a fairly easy DC. It was like a DC 15 or something, which isn't outrageous. So I'm like, what the heck? So we get to the end of the combat, and it dawns on me that I haven't done this bear at all. I haven't made one strength check for this bear. And so as a DM, I'm like, don't, it was this Homer Simpson moment of like, shit, what do I do? So finally I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. And I roll the dice to see what happens. And I crit. I rolled a natural 20 for this bear to bust out of the cage. So even though I screwed it up, even though I made a mistake and didn't, the whole time, because what's supposed to happen is the bear breaks out and gets, attacks the nearest creature. So it's just angry and hungry, and whatever's in front of it, it's going to go for. Well, that didn't affect the combat, but what happened is in the aftermath, where the players, their characters have overcome these three bandits, and now all of a sudden, the bear busts out of the cage. So it was so awesome. So I have this, so narratively and for the story, it was perfect. Because, and it could have happened anyway. I could have been rolling the whole time, and the bear failed, and the bear failed, and the bear failed in 3 or 4 rounds of combat. And then as soon as combat's done, the bear finally breaks out. I didn't even do that, but it worked out that way anyway, and it was super cool because now, here they are thinking, okay, we dealt with the bandits, everything's cool, but no, slight plot twist, in that moment, the bear breaks out of the cage, and now what are you going to do? So they were cool about it. There was one round where the bear and the player characters engaged with each other, but then they could kind of determine that the bear wasn't really trying to kill them, it just wanted to get the hell away, and they let it. And that was super cool. So they did a little damage to each other, but then the bear ran off into the hills. So it turned out to be this super cool end of a combat encounter, even though I messed up. So I want to say, I guess what I kind of got off on today, or what I kind of got into is celebrate the mistakes. Celebrate the screw-ups, because they can be just as much fun. And this one turned out super fun. And honestly, you guys, that's why I call it 1 in 20 D&D. That's why 1 in 20 to me is so important. I really truly believe that the screw ups, that the failures, the ones, if you play them, if you make them part of the story, the ones are going to be just as much fun as the 20s. Sometimes they'll be even more fun. In this case, it was a 20, but it was me, Gregory, as the DM, who made the critical fumble and made the mistake. So, hey, go out there, have great games, make great friends, be good to each other. I'll see you at a table someday. And in the meantime, keep rolling 20s.